So Wes made this video, and eventually we showed it to a new clinician who was director of something clinical, who had just started. And I went over and talked to him, and we were talking about this, and I said it worked, and I said, look, here's the video of it working. And I guess, this was Gareth of Apostolos, I guess because he was a clinician and he'd seen patients go through this, blown away and said, this is fantastic, we have to have this. He then showed it to Keith Mansford, who was chairman of R&D at Beecham's at that time, who was equally persuaded by it, and then any resistance to the change that was being created was stopped. Keith Mansford said, we need this, we want one of these, get me one. So then we had resources and the teamwork, we had chemistry who came on board to get our own molecule. So it was after that point we developed it, but we did it in a way that was unconsciously, and this was a retrospective decision, a retrospective description of what we did. We took the kind of moral high ground, and didn't mean to do that. We took the moral high ground because we went out and published. We went out and talked to people, engaged with people. I remember consulting with people. We consulted with then Dr. Paul Andrews because he knew about vomiting and we didn't. We needed to have some experts. So he came into the door and I introduced myself, didn't know him, and I said we were going to work in this area, we're going to talk about drugs that block. He says, yeah, it's funny, I've got Glaxo on the phone as well. They want to talk about a mysterious compound that they'd like me to test as well and have a look at. And I said, oh, I know what that is. We've tested it, we've made you. Come into the lab and we'll show you the results on it. Because by then we'd done all the studies, we'd patented the Glaxo compound, we'd patented everybody else's. We were unquestionably the first to do this. So we showed Paul this data and he was knocked out. And I just think we took the scientific approach by being as open as we were allowed to be in a commercial organisation. We never revealed structures, of course, but by communicating and engaging with the scientific community, as opposed to other approaches, and I've mentioned one, who just said, here's a lot of money, test this compound X, we won't tell you what it is, and we'll take all the credit. We adopted a different approach, and I think that was good. I think that is what industry should do. What it means is that you are then working in industry and you are a recognised scientist, not a drug rep. So when you go outside to key opinion leaders, as I used to do, your CV's as good as theirs. And when they talk about papers, you say, yeah, I published that, and it's in so-and-so. And suddenly you know that your science is being peer-reviewed and is good. So we took that approach that I don't know if it was unique, but it was a little unusual at the time and gave us that good reputation. I think we lost the war in drug development. I don't think SmithKline Beecham as it became was very good at the time of developing molecules, whereas Glaxo had a machine and just rolled through with ondansetron. They unquestionably were second. They picked it up through clinical trials. They noticed anti-emetic effects, but I really think they got it from our papers. We published the data. I even remember walking through the rain in Melbourne at a Serotonin Club meeting where, who was it? Brian Richardson, then running the 5-HT3 work at Sandoz at that time, then Novartis, apologised to me and said, look, we saw your early data, we just had to move fast, we put money into an organisation, into then Pentecostal, Bob Naylor, we paid them to do the study and get that publication out ASAP because we're a business. I apologise for that, and we were in the pouring rain and we just laughed it off and went for beer.